There's plenty of room. Okay. I think it's just me. Hi, everybody. We're waiting for you to join us. We are so excited for the Sunday edition of Beauty on a Budget. Hope you guys are having a blessed day and getting ready for some learning that always happens. It always happens. Hey, Brenda. Love that I can see you guys. Hi, Marlene. Look at you looking all beautiful. This is a COVID survivor. Makes me feel so good to see your face. How are you feeling? You look beautiful. I was so glad to see that you said yesterday you had a really good day. I watched some of your lives and you said you were feeling pretty normal. So you look beautiful. You look like you lost some weight, girl. That's a hard way to lose a pound, isn't it? Oh my goodness. Yeah, you're muted. We're so excited to have you here, and you've been on all of them, all through your experience. Yeah, so you're feeling better?
I am. Today I feel really good. Yesterday I felt really good. So I think I'm past.
You're done. Yeah. I'd like for people to know it affects everybody differently. I know Robert, your hubby, had a harder time with this, but once it's through, it's through. You know, I know you guys are hopefully through the hard part of, you know, moving away from it, which is great. It'll be out of your home. I know you're excited.
Amen.
Okay. All right. So let me see. Let me just see if I see Miss Angela. So I'll go ahead and just talk to you for a minute because it is noon about why we do these. We started these because women absolutely love coming together like this. We started this when COVID first hit back in March. We've been doing them twice a week because it helps us to learn from each other. We have what the pros have. We've had it for 3 years. We never had it before. It wasn't available to the public. We didn't even know it existed. Most of us are celebrating 3 years this week using these phenomenal, professional, just incredibly sought after products that nobody was able to purchase before. The celebrity and the pro makeup artist would use them, and then that was it. It was over, and you wouldn't have access to them again. They would send you off to Sephora or somewhere. So to have access to this product line that is truly a gift, hey, Angelica, is truly a gift to be able to use for ourselves, but then to be able to share that with the world has been absolutely the greatest blessing for the last 3 years. For me, turning 50, I was using chemicals, and so I don't even want to think what my skin could have looked like had I not gotten to get all the chemicals out of my skin. And then it's just kind of spilled over to all areas of my life. So now I'm very conscious of everything that I use, everything I put on my body, everything I wash my clothes with, everything I mean, we are what we are putting on ourselves, whether it's eating or whatever it is, washing your clothes, washing your body, brushing your teeth. Just think about it, be conscious of it, because it will change everything in your overall health. These things go into our bloodstream, these chemicals, in 30 seconds or less, and they absolutely cause such havoc in our bodies, and we're not realizing it because we're not being told. So now that we know what we know, that these chemicals are highly dangerous, they cause cancer, they cause thyroid issues, they cause so many issues that have been proven, and that in Europe, they are only allowed about 12 of the ingredients, and over in the United States, it's over 1,000 ingredients that are chemicals, that are things that should not be on us. So I love being able to educate women. Most of all, get the chemicals out. Whatever you have to do, whatever line you have to go find. But LimeLife does everything on European standards, and there's still a store in New York City. I love that women can walk in as makeup artists or pros and get to these products, but that you really wouldn't know how to use them. Like, they made them all beautiful and blingy and attractive to the everyday woman, because it would have been very intimidated for someone to walk in that store and use these products. Yesterday we had a beauty bar, so we do live and in person, and we do these, and I learned a great new tip about oil strike. Okay, so this is one of our setting sprays that I wasn't using, and I'm extremely oily in the summertime, and because I watched someone else like you're watching, I actually know now I can use this as a primer for my face when I'm oily. And so this is what I have on today, and it is a completely different look in my makeup. So when people say, why do I get on these? I'm learning from all of you. I can't wait to learn from Angelica. There's always something I take away. I feel like that This is a 1-hour experience of self-care for me, because we know putting on makeup, we were talking yesterday how when you put on your makeup, and so many women have kind of let themselves go over the last 5 months, and then they come and they put on a face and they feel beautiful. And we want to offer anyone watching, we will send you samples. If you don't want to get out of your house, let us send these to you. We want you to be able to feel beautiful, and don't stop taking care of yourself. Don't stop taking care of your skin. Don't stop putting your lips, your eyes, and your blush on. And we can actually send you that. We can send you a lipstick color that you want to try, a blush color you want to try. We are so excited to do that for you, because most of us are in this business because we love to serve. The money actually is the bonus that we earn. We love these products. We love sharing these natural products. So if you're a guest, please put in the comments that you're a guest and who you're a guest of. Today, I have one of our $22 mascaras to give away. That's kind of a good gift. Like, this stuff is magic, and I know Angelica will share it with us, but I'm going to turn this over to Angelica. If you'll just tell us, Angelica, like how you found LimeLife, how you prime your skin before you do this face, and then I'll pull out the Simply Pretty collection at the end so they can see how beautiful it is and how money goes back to our Brighter Together Foundation. But I'm going to find you and I'm going to spotlight you, and thank you so much. You've done several of these for us, and I'm so grateful for all of you girls who were never pros, but you learned, because we have a lot of professionals teaching us. But I also want to say, you don't have to know all these tips and tricks, which is what we love. You can just love these products like you love your own products, and know that you're not putting any chemicals on your face. All right, so spotlight on. Hey, beautiful.
Hey, how are you guys?
Oh, so good. So good to see you.
It's good to see you guys. Okay, so I kind of already did a little bit of my eye makeup. But what I do to prime my face, first up, I always do my skincare first. For those of you who have oily to combination skin, if you neglect your skin before doing makeup, it's not going to do you any good. So I tend to be a little bit oily in the summer too. So I just make sure that I am cleansing my face and hydrating, whether it's with a certain kind of moisturizer or whatever you guys use. So I've already done that part, and I actually put on, this is our bronzer. So I put on some of that, just because my face is a little bit lighter than the rest of me.
Can you show us the consistency of that on the back of your hand? Because that's something we don't talk about enough. And I put that on my chest. I put it on my legs. I mean, tell them how it works.
Yes.
It's just till you wash it off.
Right. So this is the bronze. This is actually my first time trying it, and I love it.
Yay.
Because like I said, I can't put a bunch of stuff on my face. My face is super sensitive. So like the self tanners and stuff I stay far away from, because they end up breaking me out. So this is perfect because it doesn't stay in your skin. You can wash it off just like makeup. Here's a little drop of it. This is the bronze again, but it's just that pretty shimmery look. Beautiful. I probably put a little too much on my hand, but that's okay. But I mean, it goes on super smooth.
It's very silky.
I mean, it's got a little bit of shimmer.
Okay, but so you just have that. That's just
on my
legs
on your face. And my face.
So that's the first thing you have on your face. Okay, it looks beautiful. I mean, it like matches your neck perfectly. So kudos, looks good.
Right, and that's what we want. We want it to match, and that was my thing. Is like my face is pretty light compared to the rest of me. So having that on, I mean, it helped a lot. So, and again, it's just like makeup for your body. You can put it wherever you want. And the best part is it washes off. It doesn't sink into your skin and stay there like a self tanner does. Because I know that was something I learned, in the last couple of years. I can't do it on my face. So this kind of helps. Like I actually wear this to work more than foundation, because it just kind of evens out my skin tone. So I was
like you, I have never been able to put a self tanner on my face. So I was really afraid of that one because of being oily. And I'm like you, I love it. It just makes me balance out my skin without having a foundation when you're just, especially for some out the door summer bronzing makeup. So that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So that was my new discovery and I love it.
Yay.
So there's that. I do use our First Base priming spray. If I'm not wearing sunscreen, I typically do that. So I work indoors, so I don't always wear sunscreen underneath to prime, but when I'm out and about, that's when I use it for a primer. And then, so I'm going to just use this one today, and I just kind of shake it and spray it, and literally just takes seconds to dry. For those of you who are curious, because I know I have a lot of questions on this, when I am priming for eye makeup, I typically use our concealers, because they actually do really good coverage. And then on top of that, they're waterproof. So our little concealers is what I use for my eyes. But for the rest of my face, I like to use this one. But like Blair said, like the setting spray is really good for just kind of setting your skin to put that makeup on, especially if you tend to have more of an oily skin type during the summer. So let's see. So there's that. So I'm going to start with just our foundation. So this one is the Shinto 2 foundation. If you are not familiar with the foundations, they are wax-based. They are amazing. First off, it's like a facelift. This formula likes to stay on top of the skin, doesn't sink into the skin, is really good for pores. It's really good for lines, for uneven skin tone. Because I mean, I've seen some miracles worked in front of my eyes just from using this foundation. So I have this one warmed up. If you're curious about that, I always warm my foundation before I put it on. It seems to go on easier when I do that. So I just have it in like the back of my jean pocket or wherever, while I'm running around doing stuff. And then it literally takes me 5 to 10 minutes to do makeup every day. So this is our Blenderful if you're not familiar with it. If you get this foundation, you need to get this. It is amazing. This makes makeup application so much easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the base of it and I'm just going to twist it in there.
Is yours wet or dry? Is your sponge wet or dry?
So this is wet. That's another thing. I always do it damp. So every morning, like I actually wash mine all the time just for the fact of I have really sensitive skin. So I just washed it this morning and it's got that dampness to it. It's not really wet, but it's just a little damp. But you can tell the difference because of the expansion on it. So this is pretty big and cushy. And that's exactly what I want when I'm applying makeup. So what I do is I kind of twist on the outside. I'm going to turn this down just a tad.
So are you going right on top of the bronzer?
Yep.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. So because the bronzer kind of shines through is something I saw when I'm doing it.
Cool.
Kind of like I said, it does. It glows through. It's almost like you get that J-Lo glow with it.
I can see it on your nose. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 Totally.
You can definitely see the shimmer still through the foundation, which is amazing.
What foundation were you wearing before this? I'm curious.
So before I was a Shinto 1. So
like what kind of foundation? What kind of foundation line before LimeLife?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I was using Bare Pro Minerals. And it scared me because if you guys aren't familiar, it comes in a pump bottle. So I'd have to pump it onto my hand to put it on my face. And what worried me was it took forever to get it off my hand. So I'm like, if it's doing that to my hand, what is it doing to my face? And that was one thing that was my main thing why I went with LimeLife, because I struggled with finding a good foundation that did not oxidize, didn't make me more oily, didn't fall off my face or melt off. So I mean, I struggled with that for like 2 years after having my last kiddo. And it was to the point where I was like in tears because I could not find anything that worked for me. And of course I was using chemical filled skincare, like probably the most potent stuff you can find in the industry, because I have really bad acne. And so I mean that wasn't helping my complexion at all. Like I felt like I was a complete oil slick on my face. So I mean I had so many struggles. Bare Pro seemed to be the only thing that worked at the time, which if it wasn't budging off my hand, Of course, it wasn't budging off my face. But that was something I was afraid of. I'm like, well, if it's not coming off, am I actually not getting it completely off? Is that why I was having so many breakouts?
Yeah, it's in your pores. Yeah, it makes all the sense in the world. Yeah, this like makes
and I felt like it kind of aged me.
Yes.
Yeah, because I mean, it wasn't something you know, that was another thing. I have a 3-year-old daughter, and I'm like, this is not something I want her growing up using.
Right.
And of course, like with her, looking back at it, you know, I was like, she's going to have good skincare, so the makeup won't matter till later on. And that's something I didn't have the luxury of, because I had so many acne scars that I hated not wearing makeup. I mean, I felt like it was a burden, because I would never go out with it not on. If someone was staying the night, you would not see me without it until everyone was in bed.
Wow.
And even then I wouldn't show my face.
Oh,
so I mean, and it was rough. It took a toll. And so
look how flawless your face, look how flawless your face is. Okay, so were you in shock when you found this? Because it was a girlfriend that introduced you, right? Like somebody's like, hey, I want you to try. And you were like, this isn't going to work on me. Nothing does. I'm sure you were skeptical.
Yeah, so that was one thing. Like, it took me 2 tries with it, because I mean, the first time we talked about it, I'm like, okay, because it was one of the things I told her. I was like, I've spent money in this whole industry. I'm like, probably thousands of dollars on skincare and makeup, and I did not find anything that suited me. And that's something like we talked about. And then the second time I tried it. So what really convinced me, like the foundation, I'm like, okay, I can see this, but I'm like, you know, it was later in the day, so I'm like, well, it's not being put to the test yet. And I actually didn't care for it at first until I figured out the warming up trick. That's what really, because I had a hard time putting it on. I didn't know exactly what I was doing until I started watching other people doing it.
There's a learning curve. There's a learning curve for sure. 100%.
Yes.
We all did the same thing. We were like, what is this product? But because of the waxes, like you said, once you learn that you heat it up, you use hardly, aren't you shocked at how little you use? Like you use nothing.
Right. And that's something I explain to everyone. I'm like, this is completely different than anything else I've seen on the market. And I've had my fair share of experience with other products. And that's something that was like my number one thing when anyone buys foundation. You know, I'll be like, I'll tag them in some of my videos explaining this to them, because that's the key. Is knowing, first off, your damp blender full is amazing, and then having a warmed up foundation is key. I just talked to someone not long ago, and they didn't know that, because they were asking me, they're like, we tried doing this 10-minute look, and it's hard to do 10 minutes. I was like, are you warming up your foundation before you do it? They're like, no. I was like, that's your key, because that's what makes it fast.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it glides on. It just glides.
It does.
It's like a miracle. It just glides, and it's to leave a filter over your face. Like, it's not to sink into your pores. That's why you're dabbing it versus swiping it, which is what all foundations do, which they just go and they build in the pores and they cause breakouts. Mm-hmm. I have more women say my skin is clearer because I'm using this foundation. They're not even using skincare. With the foundation, their skin is clear. But your skin is flawless.
Oh, thanks.
I bet you're so proud. I bet you're so proud. And I bet your self-esteem is just shining because you feel good when you look in the mirror.
Right. And that's something I tell my network all the time. I'm like, before LimeLife, you would never catch me without makeup. There's times I do lives with no makeup. There's most of the time, like I said, I go out, I've been going to work with no makeup hardly on. Because I've been using my bronzer. There's times I run out to the grocery store with no makeup. If I have people staying over late, you know, as soon as I get off work, I typically take it off anyway. So, I mean, a lot of people have seen me without it and they don't even realize that I don't have it on.
How do you remove it? I'm just curious. What is your best remove? How do you remove the foundation? Which cleanser melts it good for you?
So I kind of do a mix. So I do our Midnight Oil Cleanser with Dream Clean.
Yeah.
Is what I typically do.
I love it. Mix them together?
I do. Yeah,
okay.
So I want to get that anti-aging, but I also have my acne that I keep at bay. So that kind of takes care of both of those things.
Did you ever think you'd be putting in oil on your oily face?
that was the thing that shocked me. And I mean, even to this day, like watching clients' reactions when I tell them, I'm like, you actually need oil for your oily skin.
That's right. Yes.
It's priceless for me because I'm like, I was there with you. I was like, when someone told me that, I was like, I remember when Abby first told me, she's like, oh, we have these facial oils. I'm like, oh. I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. But I mean, that's something I use every day. And that's something I encourage most of my clients to do, especially when they're wearing face masks. That's been the key to keeping my face from breaking out.
Are you wearing a mask during the day at work?
Yes, I have to wear a mask for 10 to 12 hours each day when I'm working.
Wow. And no breakouts. You're having no problems because you're
No.
priming your face, like the face
Right.
primer, I'm sure. And what else do you think is helping you because your skin, there's no breakouts?
So I've been using the One Drop Wonder during the day, and I use it with Forticure cream because something I realized is that if you use the fiber masks, they literally take out all the moisture out of your face, and that's what's causing a lot of the breakouts. So, and I tell this to everyone that has to wear them, you know, make sure you really, really hydrate your skin, whether it's, you know, drinking more water, whether it's adding extra moisturizer, a facial oil. One of the things, I had a coworker, and he's a older gentleman. Yeah. And he asked me, he's like, Angelica, he's like, how are you not breaking out? He's like, my face is, you know, really bad. He's like, I've never had this many issues. I was like, it's because of my skincare. And he's like, well, he's like, you know, tell me what I need and I'll buy it. I was like, I got samples for you. So I'm like, why don't you try them over the weekend, see how you feel about it. And Monday morning, you know, he came over, he's like, okay, you know, tell me how much I owe you and order these things for me.
I love it.
And I mean, he loves the Dew Date facial oil. He loves it. That and the Forticure cream. He actually ended up getting a cut on his face from mowing because he hit a tree or something, and his scar is completely healed, or his cut is completely healed because of the Forticure cream and the Dew Date.
Incredible.
So,
Incredible.
I mean, he goes around telling everyone about it. So, I mean, that's just, you know, don't forget about men because they need it just as much as we do. But, yeah. Okay.
That's such a huge tip for people with masks. I think I hear that more than anything is that people's skin, they think it's changing. And it's like you said, it's the dehydration because there's no moisture getting to their face anymore. So what you're saying is awesome. I'm definitely going to do a post about that. That's incredible. Yeah. And for someone like you who's had severe acne, to have zero during the mask phase, I mean, if that's not proof, and wouldn't you say that it's easy for you to share just because of the results you've seen? Like, how can you not share when you've had all these amazing results?
Right. So, and I've done a couple of lives on this because I've had so many people reach out to me about it. Something I do really encourage you guys to do is the lip balm. For some reason, like I don't wear much lip color now that I have to wear it, but I also feel like my lips have gotten drier with the mask on. So I always encourage everyone, I'm like, grab yourself a lip balm, just to kind of keep that hydration in. So, I mean, and I've done a couple lives on this just because I've had so many people reach out. And it's, you know, you gotta take care of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Got to pivot. You got to make some shifts.
Yeah.
Don't beat your head against the wall. If your skincare is not working right now, find something that is. It doesn't have to be ours, but don't keep using something when you're breaking out. It's not working.
Right. Well, and something, your skin changes all the time. I remember I started LimeLife last August, and we were getting ready to head into fall. So the stuff I originally got, I'm like, okay, this isn't working. Like my skin feels really dry. Like it almost went into shock because of the weather change. And that's when I realized, I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to mix this up. I need to find something else. And I ended up switching from Dream Clean to Quench Cleanse just because my skin needed that extra moisture. So, and that's something like if you're questioning if you should be using something, always reach out. There's times, you know, I noticed some dryness with my Dream Clean and Midnight Oil cleanser at one point, and I reached out to another beauty guide, and I was like, okay, what do you suggest? And they were like, well, do Quench Cleanse in the morning instead of Dream Clean and see if that kind of helps. And that's been like my magic formula since then.
Love it. Love it. And we only have 3 cleansers, so it's not overwhelming.
Right.
And one suds up and one's creamy and liquidy and then one's in oil. And they can all be mixed, right? You can mix them all, which is
and that's what
so
I
unusual.
do. Yeah. I use all 3. I do 2 at night and then I do a different one in the morning. And I mean, and I was just thinking about this too. It lasts you months.
Forever.
So I'm coming up on month 4 and I still have probably a quarter left.
Can you imagine the money you're saving from all the products you were overstimulating your oil with before LimeLife? Right. I mean, are you like feeling like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to save hundreds and thousands of dollars in my lifetime?
It's definitely saved me a lot because I mean, when you try products out in the market and you're like, well, this isn't working for me, then you try something else. Then you find out that doesn't work for you and you're like at a loss. Like, I mean, it's the frustrating feeling. You know, I was there, I was breaking down crying because I tried so many products and nothing was working and I felt awful.
Wow.
But Blair, like you were talking about earlier, I realized that some of it was my eating habits and I didn't realize I was intolerant to a lot of things too.
Yep.
So that's something I've learned is I'm intolerant to a bunch of things. I had no idea until, you know, someone just happened to suggest, like, they're like, why don't you do all natural stuff? And I remember laughing at that person because I was like, what do you mean all natural? I'm like, I need all this salicylic acid on my face to get rid of my acne. And I mean, you know, they were right. And they laugh at it till this day because I work with that person still. And he's like, oh yeah. He's like, it definitely works.
Oh yeah. It's crazy. We're just totally brainwashed into thinking that there's only one way for our skin, and everyone's skin is so different and unique. And I love how we can customize everything. Everybody's regimen is a little different. And if you're just patient, you will find your perfect regimen. It's awesome.
Right.
I just can't stop staring at your skin because it's just, it's glowing. It's dewy. It's all the things, you know, it's just all the things. So I know you're proud and you feel good about yourself. You know, I mean, it's your self-confidence. It's the way you view yourself into the world. And it's so powerful when you feel beautiful, but very, very, very inspiring.
And like I said, I have a 3-year-old and she watches me and Blair, I'm telling you, she's going to be my business partner one of these days because she was trying to do our makeup yesterday and I was just watching her. I was like, you know, and this is one of the big reasons I did this.
That's right.
Because, because I have a little girl who watches everything I do. So, and I want her growing up feeling good about herself and knowing that, you know, she doesn't have to feel like she has to wear makeup all the time either.
That's right.
Because that's something that, you know, personally, that was my whole mission is making, you know, I want you guys to feel confident in your own skin without having to feel like you have to cover it. For those of you who don't know, like, I love playing with makeup personally, but I don't feel like you should feel like that's the only option for you to feel beautiful too. So I mean, the skincare brought a bunch of that confidence back for me personally, because this goes deeper than you know,
more than makeup. It's more than makeup. Yeah, more than makeup, more than skincare. It's totally.
It is.
Especially as a mom of girls. Our beauty should not be defined by what we see out there. It's what's on the inside. So good for you. Good for you for being a good, strong, powerful mom, and feeling confident where you can show her confidence. It's an incredible gift you're giving.
Oh, thanks.
I love it. It's beautiful. What a perfect Sunday. What a perfect Sunday. So inspiring to see you shine. How old are you?
So I just turned 28.
Yeah. So I didn't learn any of this till I was 50. So good for you that you get to experience this all through your 30s, your 40s, into your 50s. You'll never have to do what I did because I had horrible adult acne and it was just embarrassing. And I sold makeup and skincare. So there you go.
Right. And this is something, Blair, I wish I had this back in my teenage years. Because I mean, I was seeing a dermatologist. I was taking medication for my acne. And I mean, because of that medication, I couldn't go out in the sun. And so I had to take it during the winter time. And looking back at it, I'm like, if I just had the right skincare, I wouldn't have needed to do all of that.
And instead you felt different. You felt different from your friends who had, because I had perfect skin, and then it hit me after babies. So I had to deal with adult acne, never dealing with acne. And it ruined my confidence level in myself. But anyway, it's a beautiful thing. So to have it in your 20s is a miracle, because that's when my skin started going crazy. So you're in a good spot to be a young mama and show your little girl a strong, powerful mama. I love it.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm excited. Like, it's one of those things. I'm excited for those teenage years. I am, but I'm not.
Don't be excited.
It's one of those things. Like, I feel like I have a three-nager already, so I'm like, okay.
Yep, they grow up fast. That's for sure.
They do.
All right, what you got there?
I'm going to show you guys. We have so many blushes. This is the Boom blush that we showed in the graphic, and it is a gorgeous color. It's almost like a dark mauve kind of color. So this particular one, these are highly pigmented if you have not tried these. And I feel like the ones that are a little bit darker, I feel like the pigment just sticks more. So, and this is our angled brush. This is our number 3 brush. So you can kind of see. This is like my go-to for any kind of blush. And I'll show you why. So I'm going to just kind of press it in there. I'm not going to really take a bunch, because look at that, just from pressing it.
Wow.
So super pigmented. Now I want to show you this, and if you guys are like freaking out, that's okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it to the corner and I'm bringing it in. The reason I'm doing this is because most of that pigment goes off in that first contact. So I'd rather it be on the outside than right here. So I'm just kind of bringing it out. And if you guys feel like you got too much on, this is like the perfect stage. You can go back with your blender full because it still has a little bit of foundation. And you can always kind of tone it down with that. So this pigment is buildable, which I love. And honestly, I love seeing the look of my clients' faces when they're looking at these pigments and they're like, oh, I don't know if I feel good about that. Until I put it on them, they're like, oh, you're right. It doesn't go on like that. So that's something, like, these are buildable. And
last forever, and last for, I still have my first one from 3 years ago. Seriously.
I mean, I've had mine, some of them for like about almost a year. It doesn't even look like, they look brand new.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because I barely have to touch them. But
and what do you love about that Pro brush? What's different? Because I didn't understand Pro brushes in the beginning.
So first off, these brushes, that's something I always get compliments on, are the brushes I use, which are all LimeLife brushes. They're super soft, they're durable, they're easy to clean. This one I feel like it's perfect for that face contact, because I could just slide it on and just goes and molds to my face.
Yeah.
And these are, if you guys do not know, I'm big on blending. So I'm very picky about brushes I use to blend. This one I love because I can easily blend my blush in. And I mean, all of the brushes are that way. So beautiful. Super easy, but all of them are really great. Like I said, the reason I angle this in is, see how dark that pigment is here versus here? Because the last thing I want is to have like a big blob of pigment right here on the apple of my cheek. And then, like I said, you can always tone it down. So I can always kind of go in and tone it down with my foundation. There's times I actually use a bronzer if I wanted more of that bronze look, and I can go in with my bronzer and just kind of even it out more. So if you look at that versus this pigment, like, it's not as intimidating.
Beautiful. So pretty on you. It's what I use too. Is that on your eye?
I just got this one. No, I did not use it on my eye, but
it looks like
I've used quite a few blushes on my eyes just because the pigment is amazing. Let me see if I can find it. But like our number 2 blush, it's a scary looking red. I have used that on my eyes just because I wanted more of that really vibrant red pigment. And I've got a 4th of July look with it, and I love it. So that's another thing. Like, all these products are so versatile. I've used blushes on my eyes. I've used our Enduring lip colors for blushes, eyeshadows, all the above. So I mean, you can do so much with these products, and that's why I'm like, I love the beauty on the budget, because some people don't realize you can do that.
Right.
So, okay. That was just that was the Boom blush, and I think that's number 9. I want to say. Yep, number 9. And then this is our number 3 angled brush again. So this is definitely something I recommend. This is the best angled brush I have found on the market. And I have quite a few because I am big on makeup brushes. And that one's my all-time favorite.
So is that a good starting brush for everyone? Like, if you were just getting 1 or 2 brushes?
Yes, I agree. I think this would be one of my number 1 picks. If you're starting out, that's my number 1. And we do have a smaller powder brush. This is number 18.
Yeah,
I highly recommend this one just because you can get the highlight underneath your eyes. For me, because I have super sensitive watery eyes, I like to put like my white translucent powder around my eyes. So that way it's not affecting any of my makeup. You know, if I want to put a little bit of highlight here, I can. If I want to do like a little bit of bronzer, I can with this one. Again, this is number 18. It's just a smaller powder brush.
And they're all vegan, which is amazing to me.
Right.
Almost our whole line is vegan anyway, but all of our brushes are vegan. And I used to use brushes and the hairs would fall out and then they would get stuck in my makeup and it would drive me crazy. So that's why I was interested. And obviously these things are magical. Barrel, heavy weighted handles that give you like precision control of where the product goes. Just mind blowing. You just don't know what you don't know, right?
Well, and that's the thing. I've spent I spent quite a bit of money on like these Morphe brushes because I heard so many good things about them. And I've noticed like after one wash, like the bristles will flare. And I'm like, well, that's not right. They shouldn't be flaring like that. I have never had an issue with any of these. And like I said, I get compliments from so many clients. They're like, oh, these brushes feel great. They're amazing. I was like, well, that's how it should be.
Right? You should love it. Not like it, love it.
Right. And then we do have a bigger tapered powder brush that I do recommend. It's just a little bit bigger than this. I think my 3-nager took off with it, so I'm gonna have to hunt it down later. She's my makeup brush hoarder. But those would be the top 3 I would recommend for anyone. And then of course, Blender Full Foundation would be my number 1 recommendation. Just because it makes it a little bit easier than doing it with a brush. But okay.
Where are we, Angelica?
I know. I was like, I'm pretty sure. So we'll do mascara, and I'll kind of show you some stuff with that in just a second. But I am going to go ahead and set my makeup, just because like on these hot summer days, we definitely want to do that.
Give me a recap of what you've done so far. So you've got bronzer on, then foundation, then you've got your Boom blush. What's going on with your eyes that you've already done?
So with my eyes, let me show you.
Because they're very pretty and it matches so well with your lips.
So this is our number 15 Tainted Love. So I have that on my eyelid. And what I did was, if you guys don't know me, I'm like typically a 4-well eyeshadow type of person. So then I kind of put this Taupe for the Best. This is number 40. This is like my number 1 favorite transitional color. And when I say transitional, because I don't want a hard line where it's top to my brow bone to my crease. So I put this color on next, just kind of in that general area, just to kind of soften it. And then what I did was I used brownie points. So it's a darker brown. And I just kind of went in the crease area and kind of filled it out just a little bit. So it kind of blends in with that number 40 Taupe for the Best, just so you don't have a hard line there. Because when I have this much pop of color, the last thing I want is a really hard line.
And you
so
have challenging eyes because you have a hooded lid. I mean,
right.
You aren't going to see that lid, and it's because of the way you've done your eyeshadow in that one color. It just gives you a lid. It's amazing how you can create
and
that
something
illusion.
Yeah, definitely something like I would recommend for anyone with a hooded eye. What I do is I bring my eyeshadow up into like the bottom part of my crease, just so it's popping a little bit more. And if you feel like it's not popping enough after you do like the rest of your eye, you can always go back and blend it in. That's something I always recommend, is to bring it up. And then of course we got to have a brow highlight, because I do have a lot of real estate between my crease and my brow bone. So I like to use that number 38 cream boat just right underneath the brow bone, or right underneath my brows on the bone, just to kind of highlight them a little bit more. And that's typically what I do. I use 4 colors, typically a pop, a transitional, a crease, and then a highlight. So super easy. And of course,
what did you line your eyes with? Did you use the liner?
Yes. So don't laugh. I mean, I use these till like they're nothing.
Me too.
Because I mean, they're that good. And I mean, they still work really well. So what I did was I used the Enduring Eye Pencil, and I go underneath the lash line where my waterline is. And this gives you like that fuller lash look, because the last thing you want is to see gap in it. So that's what I try to do. I try to get it smudged underneath, so that way it looks fuller without any gap. And then I actually go over with, let's see if I find it, our eyeliner pen, which this is like the best liquid liner ever, for so many reasons. So like the tip of it, it's actually like a paintbrush. So it goes on without scratching. It also just glides on. So if anyone's like, oh, I don't ever do liquid, I would definitely recommend just trying this one. Especially like if you have teenagers that are starting to do makeup, that's something I do highly recommend. It comes in brown now, which is amazing, because for clients that have fair skin with really blue eyes, I always recommend brown. So, and then this one's the black.
It really is effortless, and it's so intimidating. And when we joined, it was the only eyeliner. We had no other option. And we all put it on one time when we were like, okay, this is why the makeup artists choose this one, because it really does go on like a dream.
It does. It's like super easy.
And it's waterproof. It sticks. It ain't going anywhere.
Yes. Yeah. And that's one thing for me. I'm like, I have to have waterproof or water resistant, just because I work on a computer 10 to 12 hours a day. And the last thing I want is my eyes to be burning. And that's one thing with these products. I don't have issues with any burning. Even the mascara, which I'm going to show you here in just a second, I'm actually warming it up. So if you guys are curious, to get it to go on really well, you kind of want to warm it, whether it's just holding it for like a few minutes, putting it in your pocket, or whatever you want to do. But this is our fiber mascara. It is amazing for so many reasons. Like I said, it's water resistant, not waterproof, but it might as well just be waterproof, because I haven't had issues with it.
Agreed.
Yeah, because that's one thing. I thought it was waterproof when I first got it. And then I realized, I'm like, oh, it's really water resistant. But I'm like, it might as well just be a waterproof one. But it does not have any flaking, does not have any burning, which is really good for anyone with sensitive eyes, because that was my concern whenever I used it. I'm like, well, hopefully my eyes are not going to water and burn. Hopefully it's not going to flake off, and I haven't had any issues with it. So, and if you guys are curious, the wands do not look like this. I bend mine just to make it easier. I've got really long eyelashes, so this just makes it a little bit easier for me to do that. So I'm just kind of shimmying it up.
It's definitely a shimmy, because you're coating those lashes with those fibers. It's fiber mascara, which I'd never heard of.
And that was something I was always scared of, because I was like, well, the last thing I want is fibers to fall off my eyelashes into my eye. And I've never had issues with it. And honestly, I remember one of my best memories is we had a new beauty guide, and she's our girl next door. And I just remember the first time she's tried this, she's like, at first I was a little, worried about this fiber mascara stuff. Cause she's like, I didn't want, actual people, their hair being attached to my eyelashes. And so we're all busting up because we're like, okay, well, we can understand that. That's what you think by fiber. And so she's like, I don't want hairy eyelashes. So, and that's something I tell her, I'm like, I remember your first live when you talked about mascara. That was like the best thing.
It's mind blowing because it's got oil in it. It's got a Kendi oil in it, like a cottonseed oil. And so my lashes have always, to get this length, would be hard. And this makes them soft. So it's the opposite of what you think it's going to be.
Right. And it glides on super easy. Like, I know there's sometimes the mascara is like sticky, and I mean, it hardens really fast, and this one doesn't. And you guys can see, this is why I bend my wand, because it's just easier for me to get underneath those lashes and lift them. And I know I'm definitely in need of a new one soon, because I was like,
you can't make it last forever if you run it.
I know. I wish I could, but yeah, this is something I think it's every 6 months that they recommend replacing.
Yeah,
I'm about to that point. So I already did one coat. I'm gonna go ahead and go back in and do like a second. So like with my eyelashes, like I said, they are a little bit longer. So I like to try to go underneath and lift them. And, something I realized, I had a 13-year-old client yesterday. Her and her mama came over, and we were talking about it because we wanted to keep her look natural. Well, when we put the mascara on her, her eyelashes actually curled by themselves. Because we were talking, she's like, do you think she needs an eyelash curler? I was like, nope. Because I'm like, they're curling with just this mascara, and it's great because, I mean, that's one thing I've had issues with, is my eyelashes just going straight, and like, I feel like they're
to older
eye.
age. Welcome to getting older, sis. That's just part of it.
She's 28.
I know, but that's when it happens. When you hit about 30, things just start to happen magically. Like the lashes go straight instead of back like they used to.
Right.
I remember that.
And that's just something like I've always battled that. So I would always do the eyelash curler, but I haven't really had issues with this mascara.
Awesome.
It's done it for me. So that's a good thing. And then, so I'm going to show you the bottom, but I'm going to also show you.
We've got about 5 more minutes. So
oh yeah, we're good.
Wherever you want to go with that.
Okay. So like, I just kind of put a little bit of eyeshadow on the bottom. I didn't really do anything too fancy. A lot of times I don't like to put a bunch of eyeliner on the bottom just because I don't want it to look harsh.
It makes it look real smoky. I like it.
And I like the fact that it's, if you do it the right way, it looks really natural too. I'm not a big fan of harsh lines. And again, I'm just kind of shimmying on the bottom.
So you did that with a shadow? You did that with a shadow?
Yeah, I just did a shadow on the bottom.
Got it.
And I'm one of those, I'm a big fan of just using like a brown eyeshadow to kind of line my lash line. I don't really go hardcore with the eyeliners that much. And if I do an eyeliner, I just blend it in. So this is our Prim and Proper lipstick, which is amazing. I'm just going to put it on.
Probably our #1 seller. And we do have that in the color stay that looks just like it in the Genevieve. What's it called? The creme brulee. Creme brulee looks a lot like that.
Yeah, it's pretty close. This one, I feel like this one's a little bit more vibrant though. And then, so you can put it on. I've done a look before where I actually, because I have really pink lips, I would actually just coat it with foundation just to kind of mute the pinkness, just to kind of tone it down a notch. But this lipstick formula is super hydrating, stays on really well. I wore it like all day yesterday, and I still had color on last night at 11 o'clock before I went to bed. So that tells you anything about like the color formula.
Yeah, definitely. All right, you are amazing. Yeah, no. Hold on, just flipping back around here. Thank you so much. Just so much learning. Like, there's never a time where I'm not learning something new. I think that's the best part of these, is that it doesn't matter how long you've been in the business. We're all learning from each other, you know, and thank you for that. Just such good basic knowledge about, you know, finding skincare that works for you. I think that's the most important thing that I got, is what women go through, you know, throughout their lives, just not even realizing there's something out there like this that's natural and really can support beautiful skin. So good for you for trusting Abby and being willing to try it, because what a game changer it is. So we did not have 10 guests. We did not have 10 guests. Help us get 10 guests, because we want to give this goodness away. I know you guys will watch the playbacks. We obviously have a YouTube channel where you can go and watch all of these. Angelica has done several of these for us. We have about 25 that are ready to go, and they all are different, very unique, and you can learn something. But what I do love is that anybody can use these products. It makes anybody a professional. You can just get confident in your own skin using these products, because they apply effortlessly, as you see, and your skills get better. But this that we featured is our Simply Pretty collection. It's one of our Brighter Together collections that money actually goes back to help women all over the world in third world countries, so that they actually can learn businesses and become entrepreneurs and become very important in their communities and make decisions. And it's just an empowerment organization that is changing thousands of lives all over the world. So when you purchase this Brighter Together, it has 4 pieces in it. It has your foundation, you can choose powder, blush, or bronzer. It has a lip color and a mascara. It's a great place to start. It's a starting place, and it's under $100, and money goes back to help Brighter Together. So I love that we save money and that we get to give money. Wednesday night, we have another amazing beauty on a budget. It's a guest that you're gonna love. She's gonna show you some magic of this concealer, and like somebody who really does need to conceal, especially if you have dark circles underneath your eyes, you're gonna love this. She's gonna show you some very beautiful ways to look natural and get more of a summer glow. We're all about the summer glow. We're all about simplicity right now. We all know it's hotter than the world. I mean, it's just hot out there. So less is more, right? Like, we don't want to have to wear a lot of makeup when we go out. So when you can wear 4 products like Angelica just did, it just makes life so easy, and it's so affordable. But like she said, start with skincare. If you're not using skincare, it doesn't matter what makeup you use, you're going to be unhappy. You're just going to be unhappy. And I can tell you, women spend thousands of dollars on this journey to find what works for them, and they never find anything. I was 50, almost 50 when I found this. I had had adult acne for 20 years, all through my 30s, all through my 40s. And I just thought it was just part of, you know, life and part of aging and hormones. And what I didn't know is diet and skincare. You've got to get products on your skin that are actually good for you. It's like health food for your face when you're using these products. It's so important. So thank you, Angelica. That was incredible. There was just so many golden nuggets in there, like endless golden nuggets that we can share with women that need to hear your message about the mask, you wearing a mask 12 hours a day, and what to do. I love it with the 40 cure. You know, you really taught some really good golden nuggets that are going to help us. So everybody have a beautiful Sunday. We will be back this Wednesday. In August, the schedule will be changing, so be sure to look. But also know you can go to our just Blair Billings on YouTube, and you can watch these as on demand when you want to watch them. And then reach out to the person that shared it with you and get something customizable for you, because that's what we love about this, is what works for her might not work for you, but we're going to make sure, because everything is 100% money back guaranteed. We can do a consultation with you via computer, via Zoom like this, or via FaceTime, and you can get the products in, you can use everything, and anything you don't like, our company welcomes it back, and we love that. We love that you're not at all stuck with anything. You can try it, and then you can see what you want to keep and what you fall in love with. But trust me, you're going to fall in love with everything. We all love this stuff, and we feel so honored that we get to use it and that we get to share it with everybody that's interested in healthier lifestyle, healthier skin, healthier self-esteem. We want to feel good on the outside, so it just helps us on the inside. Don't go a day without taking care of yourself. Your self-care is everything. It is your self-confidence. It is the way you see yourself in the world, and you want to go out like Angelica at 28 found out how to go out in the world and feel more beautiful, and just the confidence that she has as a mom now. I love how it all ties together. So have a beautiful day, everybody. Thank you again, Angelica. Have a beautiful Sunday, everyone. Y'all, will see you Wednesday night with our next Zoom Beauty and Budget. Bring your friends so I can give this away. I need 10 guests, and I'll give that away Wednesday night. All right, guys. Happy Sunday. Bye, everyone.